What's going on, guys? My name's Mr. Dalek JD, and the World War II Zombies hype is still in full swing. We had the reveal yesterday, and if you missed that with a massive live breakdown, be linked down below, first link in the description, or as an eye on the screen right now. But also, I uploaded a video a little bit later speaking about the different secrets that were unveiled yesterday during the panel, including the Easter eggs, the perks, the weapons, the mystery box, and loads of character information. As you've seen from the title, we're focusing on something quite drastic. There's a few things which weren't mentioned on Twitter, but were instead from people that attended the Comic-Con panel. I want to give a massive shout out to Dr. Pepper Rules 161 from the Call of Duty Zombies subreddit, as he's given us a load of additional information which we didn't get from various people that were tweeting out live info. And from the title, that's definitely one of the main focuses we're going to be speaking about today. They mentioned about mechanics from past iterations of zombies like war buys and perks, and said that versions of those same mechanics would appear, but everything would have an in-universe and narrative explanation. And one drastic change which somehow coincides with this narrative explanation, which we still don't really know much information about, is that the point system is being replaced with something completely different. Now, this is the first time inside of Call of Duty Zombies that the point system has been removed and replaced with something different. This really is the first time. World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 all have a point system. Exo Zombies has a point system based on dollars, and Infinite Warfare does with dollars as well. But keeping with the apparent theme, instead of points, they're replacing it with, as you kill zombies, you're collecting energy from the zombies. Now, this is something which is really intriguing to me, and I can't quite work it out. Now, obviously, it's simply going to be a replacement of the points rather than a general scrap of the point system itself, as this energy will probably still collect up like points, and however this is collected, if it's going to be just simply in single figure digits, like you kill one zombie, that's one segment of energy, killing another, you get 2, if that makes sense like that, rather that it will sort of equate the doors and weapons to sort of coincide with what we'd usually expect, but obviously altered to fit this new currency of energy from killing zombies rather than getting points. To understand where Sledgehammer's coming from, let's see exactly what creative director Cameron Dayton said on the panel about this. They said they wanted to create a game where there was very little room for any sort of fantasy. They wanted to keep it very realistic where stuff makes sense. And one of this is a simple thing where the idea of killing a zombie, for some reason money drops out, where you go and use that money to go to a gun chalk outline and buy the gun off the wall. While the mechanics are in the game, they're still there, the narrative is going to make sense. So rather than you getting cash, you're going to take certain energy from the zombies, and that is the energy you'll be using to purchase items such as weapons off the wall and from the box. They mentioned specifically there is no Gobblegums or anything like that. There's no what they call tongue-in-cheek stuff. Whilst they really enjoy that stuff, the tone of the game is a little more serious and a little more realistic, so they seem to have a real grounded narrative behind it, and that's their exact wording. And we have no idea what exactly this energy is, how exactly the currency works for it, if certain zombies give off more energy than others, we really don't know. But from the vibes of this map, we could almost seem that we're taking their souls. The energy could be the actual souls from these zombies, and just everything is very demonic and hellish, which would really tie in quite well with this energy thing. But let me know what you think about this all in the comments. Now, another interesting thing which Dr. Pepper managed to get from the reveal is that they mentioned that we've only seen a tiny fraction of the different zombie types in the trailer, and that there are ones that are 10 times more terrifying. It's pretty hard to imagine anything more terrifying than the one that we saw in the final few seconds of that trailer, because it is ginormous and the main focus of the posters and marketing. But I don't really want to talk too much about this, but in the leaked trailer, there is some other zombie types that we see. And we do see practically all of them, bar one within the actual trailer itself. So we have the sort of normal looking zombies, we have the Nazi outfit zombies, we have ones which are on fire, flesh literally burning off. We have others which are literally armless but still retain most of their flesh, and there is a lot of metal casing on their bodies in different areas. And of course we have have that final main huge zombie with the metallic helmet, all the sort of metallic replacements in the spinal cords and ribs. But in the leaked trailer, we do also see a zombie which is on fire, and one of its arms is a flamethrower. So that's probably a little teaser at one of the other different zombie types, but they say it's a tiny fraction, which means there must be a lot of others which we definitely haven't seen yet, and it wouldn't faze me if we had some sort of dog round or something similar involving some sort of animals that aren't the zombies themselves. But we can also count the sort of one going through the operating room that's literally just hanging flesh. That could potentially be another new zombie type that I didn't mention previously. Now, it puzzles me how people are still confused, and I want to iron this out now that this is 1,000,000% confirmed a first-person zombies mode. And you're probably interested in how exactly the gameplay is and the differences in this between the past zombie modes that we've gotten from Treyarch and Infinity Ward. And what they said is that the biggest difference is that it's more layered than most, and it's more grounded and less campy, which I guess is cool in a way, but zombies hasn't really been campy for a long time. To make of that what you will, we do have this outside area which seems to be quite open but also very constricted. The trailer doesn't really show too much in the sort of sizing, but it seems like there's a lot of tight corridors, which is probably the best thing for zombies because that will make the atmosphere and tension of the map a lot higher. And we touched upon this in the video yesterday about how they've confirmed that there are wonder weapons, but there's a little bit more detail here from the devs which I wanted to bring up and mention. They mentioned that wonder weapons will be returning in some fashion. It wasn't stated if they would be as magical as in other versions, but they got really excited when it was asked about wonder weapons. They said they wanted to make you feel like a god from the moment you pick it up. So these things are going to be strong. And they said that there's not going to be just one wonder weapon, but there's going to be several of them. And they also mentioned sort of that they wouldn't exactly be easy to acquire, or at least not at first. So by the sounds of it, it sounds like these are going to be buildable wonder weapons, or at least wonder weapons that we're going to find by exploring the map. Now, the character Marie Fisher and her brother Klaus Fisher had a father that was a famous toy maker, and within the map itself there is a toy shop. So there's a good possibility that the father created a ton of dastardly toys, because it's mentioned in the intel posts that he created toys that were only for the purpose of death rather than joy. So some of these wonder weapons we could expect to probably have a very sort of childish toy approach to it, which will make them even more messed up. And I've seen a lot of people with the theory that the physical jack-in-the-boxes that me and some other YouTubers received could be the monkey bomb version of the game, and possibly the toy maker himself has created these to be a toy which is definitely purposed for death, as this jack-in-the-box could be wound up, the zombies could be attracted to it, and then as it opens, boom, explosion. It just sounds so perfect. Sledgehammer, if you haven't done it already, please do, as it sounds so good. And the last bit says how Michael Condrey basically stressed that his work on Dead Space was a good background for what is being brought into this project. They spent some time talking about how the different techniques that can be used in horror and what will be used in World War II Zombies, and they mentioned that jump scares will not be overused and that atmospheric horror would be more of the main focus, which is really cool. And I mean, I'm not the massive fan of jump scares, and that sounds like it will go down a lot better, because once you've experienced a jump scare kind of once or twice, it really isn't really a jump scare anymore. But aside from that, that's all the intel that we got. But the main thing is about that point system. It is quite a big change, and I probably can assume that if they're going down the route of changing subtle mechanics to fit more in the narrative and to make it more realistic, we could probably expect a few other things to be changed ever so slightly as well. If the wonder weapons aren't easy to acquire, at least not at first, it sounds like parts are going to be returning, which means buildables will be returning in some fashion, so I'm looking forward to that. But as we hear more information, I'll of course be updating you guys as soon as possible here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video as well. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments section. Make sure to check out the past 2 uploads you can see on your screen right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.